Well, we couldn't go the whole day without discussing who's up and who's down. A pair of polls taken right after last night's debate show more than twice as many Americans think Governor Romney won than President Obama. A CBS poll at 46 to 22 in favor of Romney, and CNN's instant poll showing 2/3 of respondents choosing Governor Romney and just a quarter for Obama. But that does not mean the governor was more truthful, so we've brought in in-house fact-checker Glenn Kessler to take a look at some of the key moments from last night's debate. The first one was an attack from President Obama on Romney's supposed $5 trillion tax cut. Let's take a look at that.
Governor Romney's central economic plan calls for a $5 trillion tax cut.
First of all, I don't have a $5 trillion tax cut.
So which is it?
So Governor Romney has proposed to cut tax rates by 20% and also eliminate the estate tax and the alternative minimum tax. I mean, take that $500 billion a year over 10 years, it adds up to about $5 trillion. So that's where President Obama gets that $5 trillion figure. But Romney says that he will make up that revenue, make it revenue neutral, by closing tax loopholes, deductions, that sort of thing, and he's going to start with the wealthy and then go down. However, most nonpartisan studies say that there's not enough deductions and loopholes out there to fully fill that $5 trillion.
Romney made a pretty impressive claim on how many jobs he would create in the next 4 years. Let's take a look at that.
If I'm president, I will help create 12 million new jobs in this country with rising incomes.
I noticed that Romney kind of modified it, says, I will help create.
Yeah,
yes.
Right. Well, I'll pitch in.
But the fact of the matter is that most economists say that no matter who is president, 12 million jobs will be created in the next 4 years. Pretty safe bet given the state of where we are in terms of the recovery.
We're at such a low right now.
Right. It's a nice pledge to make, and if he becomes president, he might be able to look back on it and say, hey, I created 12 million jobs. Interestingly, Bill Clinton did the same thing when he ran for president. He promised to create 8 million jobs, and it ended up being 12 million, so he was able to have bragging rights. But in all cases, it's just the economy. It's not the magic work of the president.
And finally, the president leveled the charge against Romney that he's basically returning to the failed policies of the past. We've heard it before, but we heard it again last night.
The approach that Governor Romney is talking about is the same sales pitch that was made in 2001 and 2003. And we ended up with the slowest job growth in 50 years. We ended up moving from surplus to deficits, and it all culminated in the worst financial crisis since the Great Depression.
Well, just this week, I gave President Obama 3 Pinocchios for saying something similar in a television ad. You know, the idea that the tax cuts, they did lead to deficits, but you can't find any evidence that the tax cuts led to the economic crisis. And then he also says George Bush had the worst job record in 50 years, but depending on how you run the numbers, Barack Obama is right behind him there.
So does he still get the 3 Pinocchios? I would love to hand out Pinocchios here on the Fold. 2? Like, what do we give him for that one?
Well, this is, I hadn't really gone through it, but he would at least drop down a notch to 2.
I think we should do a whole segment just on the science of Pinocchios.
Yeah, I could,
okay.
I could definitely do that.
Glenn Kessler, thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Of course, both candidates pitching their message towards those almost mythical independent voters in swing states. Last night, I headed out to Alexandria, Virginia, and took in the debate with 3 such voters.
Welcome you to the first.
On a cul-de-sac in a swing state, with 34 days left until the election, Chris Parrish and 2 friends cracked open some beers and sat down to watch the debate last night. All 3 undecided voters in the key state of Virginia.
I mean, I've voted for Democrats before. I've voted for Republicans before, and I've voted for third-party candidates before.
But Parrish and his friends Tom Conway and Justin Malkin were a tough crowd.
And that we reduce our deficit in a balanced way that allows us to make these critical investments.
Sorry.
Ultimately, it's going to be up to the voters.
It's just so funny he's saying all this, but he hasn't done a damn one of them during his administration.
I do not believe in cutting our military. I believe in maintaining the strength of America's military.
We spend more than every country combined, and he wants to spend more. I mean, he's crazy. What is he talking about? We need more military spending.
There's a reason campaigns write zingers, and some of the best received moments at the Parrish household seemed a bit scripted.
I had a friend who said, you don't just pick the winners and losers, you pick the losers. All right? So this is the kind of
That was another prepared.
Yeah, I have to say, I think Romney's winning this debate.
On economic matters, Parrish's is a vote Romney could win, but one social issue gives him pause.
I have some gay friends, and gay rights are very important to me. Just like, and you don't have to be gay to be in support of them. You know, I think it's a civil right, and it bothers me that somebody would be against allowing gays and lesbians to get married.
And that conflict between fiscal conservatism and social liberalism, something common in these Washington, D.C. suburbs, wasn't resolved in last night's 90 minutes of back and forth.
You will follow the child and let
I think this is the most scripted, so-called debate I've ever seen.
They don't answer the question. They twist the question as something else that they've been scripted to actually present.
Yeah. I like how the British debate. The British have real debates. We're just a bunch of empty suits, you know?
At the end of the night, Conway and Malkin agreed Romney had won, but weren't quite ready to vote for him. And Parrish?
I think Romney really rose to the occasion tonight and won the debate.
Did he win your vote?
Not at this point.
What do you think when people say, "How can you not know"?
Because I think. Because I think, and I don't just I don't play sports. I don't watch sports. This is politics. This is a very serious part of our lives. I mean, these people take positions and use the levers of government and power to really influence our lives. And I'm not just going to, you know, haphazardly, flippantly give them my vote. I mean, they have to earn my vote.